everyone, and welcome back to BGATVHD, the show where we do gaming commentaries every single week. And on today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you my first impressions of Pokemon Sword. Now, due to my inability to record Switch gameplay, I will not have any background video to show you, so I'm just going to play a gameplay loop I created this very same day. So without further ado, let's get into it. Pokemon Sword and Shield is the first generation of Pokemon released on Nintendo's home console system. Now that the handheld and console markets have merged for Nintendo, it's a no-brainer that the first Pokemon game to be released should be a vast improvement over the last generation, which was exclusively released on last-gen handheld hardware. So this vast improvement in hardware, plus an improvement in versatility in both the console and handheld range, should make for a pretty good Pokemon game. Alas, that's not what a lot of people thought. Pokemon Sword's initial reception seemed to be pretty disappointing, most reviewers saying that the game lacked the same charm that the last ones had, and the fact that it was fairly unpolished for the first console game of the series in the mainline generations. Things like Major Poppin' and a lot of aliasing were just among the few critiques that reviewers and players alike had to say about the game in their early hours. And just for the record, I've encountered some of the same things, but I am under the assumption now that some of these reviewers didn't play games before. They're only console reviewers, so they have a separate person for console games than handheld games. So the reviewers that reviewed Pokemon Sword and Shield were expecting a much higher standard, because in my time playing Pokemon Sword and Shield so far, well, it's been a Pokemon game, and it's certainly been a different type of Pokemon game to the last one I played, which, again, X and Y. So this time, there is a larger world map. There are the wild areas, which you can fight over-leveled Pokemon and participate in raid battles. You can freely control the camera in the wild areas, and you have a proper objective system now, where you actually go through about 2 hours of gameplay before even getting to doing the gyms. You have to get the gym challenge first, which you have to get endorsed by somebody, which you automatically get endorsed by the champion of, like, the Galar Pokemon League. So it's an interesting start to the game, and because of this plot point where your train breaks down, you get let out into the wild area with a severely under-leveled Pokemon, where you're basically guaranteed to immediately get decimated by anything you encounter in the area, such as just the raid battles in general and the wild roaming Pokemon that you'll find in the area. So your major goal, once you get to the wild area, is to get to the next town over, which is on the other side from you. So you could either go around one of the sides, or you could make a straight path through the middle, through this chain of islands that are connected by bridges. And either way, it's a pretty nice looking area. Definitely better than some of the earlier areas where the backgrounds and the mountains looked fairly primitive, even for Switch standards, because most of this area is traversable, so everything has to look at least half decent. Though the game itself, I was expecting more, and especially the transition playing handheld to docked, you could see so much more of the problems when the game was docked than when it was not. And that really pains me to say it, because I thought the game looked great in handheld mode, and it still does. But in docked mode, there are quite a few problems with how the game looks and performs. In some areas, you will have extreme slowdown and stuttering throughout the wild area and just routes in general. The battle system has not really improved much at all since I last played, and I almost feel like the amount of animation time taken for some of these Pokemon has been downgraded a bit because of well, actually, I don't know. There isn't really an excuse for that. But overall, the game is fairly good. At the point of this recording, I am at the town of the second gym. I have gotten the first gym badge, and I've moved on to the second town, going through routes 1 through 5 to get there. Most of the game experience has, again, been fairly well, and the general consensus I have about all of it is it's okay. It's pretty good, but I could definitely see a lot of areas where the game could be improved. Now, I've already sunk 4 hours into this game, and I'm prepared to sink many more in my quest to win the Pokemon League, so yeah, we'll just see how it goes. And once I've finished, I'll give you my full review of Pokemon Sword. But until then, thank you all so much for watching this episode of BGA TVHT, and goodbye.